I'll tell you what, Dick, right now this Jacksonville team looks stunned. Indianapolis has started so fast, not only on offense, but also defense. It's the pace of the Indianapolis offense and the speed of the Indy defense right now has Jacksonville on their heels.
Adam Podlesh, the punter for Jacksonville. Justin Forsett at the other end for the Colts. Good high driving boot inside the 20. Forsett looking for blocks, can't find him, and he's torn down inside the 15-yard line. Boy, good speed by Quentin Groves, the #2 draft pick, a defensive end, to make the stop for Jacksonville. A 60-yard punt by Adam Podlesh, by far his longest of this young season. Flag on the play. And we welcome those of you that have been watching NFL action on CBS to Indianapolis. The new Lucas Oil Stadium, 63,000 strong. Peyton Manning and the Colts off to a great start. A quick drive to a touchdown. It was impeccable. Every play working.
Block in the back, number 20 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Manning to Marvin Harrison for the touchdown for the 108th time in their career, most ever by a quarterback receiver combo in NFL history. And now, after holding Jacksonville 3 and out, the punt and then the penalty that you've just heard, and Manning and the Colts will start deep in their own end. Penalty on Dante Hughes.
And this will be a case, Dick, where Indianapolis needs this new running game. They haven't had it the first 2 games. The stretch was there. That made Joseph Adai and that defense stretch, and when they stretch with him, he'll cut back inside. But Tony Dungy knows as a defensive guy, and Jack Del Rio knows that first tackler against this offense, you better get him with the first one. They're too fast to miss the first tackle.
Colts have won 13 of their last 14 games in September. Adai, he sprints out to the 14-yard line. Clint Ingram playing for the injured Justin Durant at linebacker makes the stop.
And Dick, we talked about that stretch play. Here's a great example from them last year down in Indianapolis. Peyton Manning has to be able to get out to that junction point. It's man blocking for 2 of the offensive linemen. The left tackle, Hugo, who's not playing today, has to get out. It's their signature running play, and they've used it already twice today, which is one thing they hadn't done in the first 2 games. They were tossing that play instead of handing it off.
Second and short, and the usual animations by Manning before taking the snap, and it's Adai the other way. Toppled after he picks up the first down as Rashean Mathis came up from the corner.
And probably the most affected by that stretch play and this offense having that play back in their bucket is Mike Peterson, the middle linebacker you talked about, the former Colt, Dick. He told us last night, well, if they're going to toss it, that's great. I love that. That tells me run right away. I can just go downhill. You've got to wait. You've got to hesitate, because if Peyton Manning pulls that out and it's play action, it's coming at you.
From the 17 on first down, quick toss in the flat, and that was almost intercepted by Reggie Hayward, the defensive end, who infiltrated, read the play, and the ball was off the big defensive end, intended for Joseph Adai.
Well, Reggie Hayward basically makes anything in the flat. Here he is right there, the left defensive end. He reads Joseph Adai coming his way, treats him rudely, blows up the play, and that was pretty close to being a backward lateral.
Had he been looking for the ball, it might have been a catch for an interception and a touchdown. Manning over the middle to Dallas Clark. His presence being felt immediately after the injury kept him out of the first 2 games this year. And the very first play of this game, a 29-yard fingertip one-handed catch by Clark, got that scoring drive underway for Indianapolis.
You know, Peyton's got that wonderful quick motion. He's got that quick release, Dick. And I always think of throwing darts when I watch him really throwing these shorter passes when he's in this mode. When he's just flipping that ball out real quick like that, he gets to the offensive player so quickly, there's nothing the defender can do.
3rd and 1, and defensive tackle Darrell Reed is in as a blocker in this formation. They give it on the delay to Adai, skips to the 30, drives to the 37. Mike Peterson, a former Colt, makes the tackle, and these fans have been plenty to cheer the first half of this opening quarter.
Follow the lead blocker. That's going to be Dallas Clark. He'll move in. He'll have the kick out block. Watch him working against Brian Williams, 29, the safety. He gets the kick out. Adai gets a couple whiffs. First guy doesn't make the tackle. That means lots of extra yards.
Dominic Rhodes, back in Indianapolis after a year in Oakland, is now the tailback in this set. First down, 37. Fake to Rhodes. Manning can't get it off. Darrell Smith, he has been in the backfield on almost every pass attempt by Manning.
Well, that's because they're coming after Peyton Manning. They have one thing on their mind, and that's number 18. They have lived and breathed that since last year. Their whole draft was centered around him. Smith does a nice job of getting them to him. And Greg Williams, you talk about the linebackers being all over him. That's sort of Greg Williams' MO. He loves to bring the heat.
First sack of the year for Darrell Smith, a Georgia Tech star, 5th year in the league. Shotgun Manning. The quick throw underneath to Harrison, and there's not much there for the slender receiver, now in his 13th year out of Syracuse, as Reggie Nelson, number 25, 2nd year safety, Florida, and they feel that this young guy has the potential, even in his youth, to make it to the Pro Bowl.
And he blew up that play, Dick, because Ryan Dean was coming out to get a quick little trap block. That was one of those little screen/passes that act as runs, try to get you 4 or 5 yards. He just couldn't get there fast enough.
Last 3 years, the Colts have been best in the NFL converting 3rd downs. Manning needs 14. Got time now, and just does get it away, complete to Gonzalez. He gave up ground to try to elude the tackle and may have lost the first down. Had he fallen forward, it was a first down.
And Derek Harvey, the rookie out of Florida, the defensive end, came in and finally tracked down Peyton Manning. But if you let him scooch up, and he can scooch with the best of them, you better get there a lot earlier than that if you're Harvey, because he's going to find one of their guys. One of his receivers will be open, and it's about the 6th or 7th time Peyton's hit the dirt.
You can see he's wearing a brace on the left knee. He has in the past as well. He says, that's my plant foot. It's preventative. This year he's got the brace plus added padding over that surgery for the infected bursa sac. Fair catch, Dennis Northcutt. And Jacksonville trailing 7-0. When we come back, we'll have it just outside their 15.
This message approved by Toyota Corolla. For over 40 years, Corolla has been relied upon to deliver excellence, boldly shaping America's automotive landscape. Its popularity in the hearts and minds of millions have solidified its reputation for quality and high MPG. Year after year, look to Corolla for legendary long-term dependability. Trusty, faithful, 35 MPG rated. Toyota Corolla, the solid choice for '09. This message approved by Toyota Corolla.
Jill is a juggler. Ball 1, her children's education. Ball 2, her parents. Ball number 3, her retirement. How does she keep them all in the air? TD Ameritrade. They help her juggle all the human events that make Jill's real life real.
Over the middle.
I'm shooting the bold and the beautiful NFL jerseys from Reebok. Now, stick out that chest.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and more, visit NASN.com.
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL Game Day, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the wild card, divisional, and conference championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
And to the 37. Good effort by the third-year man who in 2 years has accumulated 1,709 yards rushing.
Take a look at the backside and the backside pursuit of this defense. They can't get caught going this way with Drew. Watch him. He'll come back. He'll make you miss, and then he's going to be gone. This is a team that needs to run the ball, Dick. They also haven't done it well in 2008 so far. They desperately need to run it against this Colts team.
You saw Matt Giordano, 43, made the tackle. Bob Sanders, who is the NFL Defensive Player of the Year a season ago, and just one of the truly great defensive players in the league, is out for about 4 weeks.
Adrian Peterson getting his first touchdown in week 1 on a screen and a flat. Watch this.
Peterson caught 35, runs through the defense, and he's gone. 20, 10, touchdown, Adrian Peterson. That's his first National Football League touchdown. It went for 60 yards, and the 4-4 was in play for the final 40.
It's kind of hard to explain it, explain the feeling, but it felt so good in the leap in the crowd. That's something I always dreamed about doing. So that was exciting also.
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL Game Day, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the Wild Card, Divisional, and Conference Championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
Jones drew straight ahead for about 5. The Colts, perhaps the fastest defense for 11 men, also the smallest. And watch Dwight Freeney. What a defensive pass rusher he is. He has 2 sacks and a forced fumble already this year. Linebackers led by Gary Brackett, ahead in tackles as he was all of last year. And the back four, the key there is Bullitt, Melvin Bullitt, the second-year safety from Texas A&M, replacing, well, the irreplaceable Bob Sanders. Fred Taylor gets the call, and there's a scramble for the ball, but they've marked play dead at the 44-yard line. And the lineman, Khalif Barnes, came up with the ball for Jacksonville.
They have ruled that the forward motion had stopped. Watch Fred Taylor. That he stopped right there is when they blew the whistle. Then the ball came screaming out.
But you know, he was on some other players. I don't think his knee was down. No challenge, so it's third down and a long two. Back to Jones-Drew. And look at him submarine through the defense for the first down as he torpedoes to the 48-yard line.
Dick, you mentioned the size of this front for Indianapolis. It's almost like Garrard, if he's going to run on a steady diet, which I think he will, he needs to go to the line with kind of a check with me, as in you're going to have one play call that could go either way. And you're going to want to look at the line of scrimmage, see who the personnel is, go, okay, the smaller guys are to the right. In this case, the smaller players are on the right side of the offense for the Jags.
You saw the graphic on first downs. Normally, that doesn't always correlate. But in this game, it's certainly important, especially for Jacksonville. They want first downs.
It's going to be a hold, I think, against Tony Pashos, the right tackle of the Jags.
Holding, 79, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
How could someone, Randy Cross, like you, who never held, pick out a hold like that so quickly? It's amazing. Just stunned me every week.
This Pashos going against Mathis right here. Started as a double team. There's Pashos. He's got that left arm wrapped around. May not have even been holding him, but you saw how violently on his back Mathis went to the ground. The umpire sees that. He's going to throw a flag. And I've kind of like umpire telepathic skills. I knew what they were looking at. I just tried not to do it when they were looking.
Even though in your eyes he might have been innocent. First and 20. And Fred Taylor clears at the 50. He's down to the 40 and finally pushed out of bounds at the Colt 35. That's the Fred Taylor that the Jacksonville Jaguars are waiting to see, and he delivers as he has so very often.
It wasn't about the first tackler. It's about a gigantic hole. Wonderful job by Greg Jones. Freddie Kiahu, the linebacker, can't even come close to getting him. The first person that hits him is Giordano. That's 14 yards deep.
27-yard run at the end of the first quarter. With the Colts leading 7-0, we'll return to Indianapolis after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This message approved by Toyota Corolla. For over 40 years, Corolla has been relied upon to deliver excellence.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and much more, visit NASN.com.
Tony Stewart, the pole sitter, will come down and win the season opener.
Counter-rush victory lane, Texas. Yeah, boys. Awesome job. Thank you so much.
Denny Hamlin fulfills a dream. The 18-year-old in only his third start is going to win.
Good hit.
Smack right in the nose.
That's what you call linebacking right there.
What a devastating shot.
Just obliterated. Smacked down hard on his back.
That was another big hit.
first quarter in the first 3 games of this season. There's the touchdown man, Marvin Harrison, his usual posture, finds a seat, likes to be left alone. Not exactly the most social person during the course of a game, but he brings company whenever the ball's thrown to him, and he's got the touchdown today. First down at the 35, and a scramble on that play as Fred Taylor up the middle and a loss of a couple. Fred Taylor talked to his teammates yesterday, and he's the lone player left from the '98 team for Jacksonville. And he said, don't ever forget how much you love the game and how fortunate we are to be able to play this. Show the passion and love for what you're doing. Be optimistic. You know, it's easier. It's easier, and it takes less time to be optimistic. I like it.
No one embodies that attitude on this team, maybe in this league, more than Fred Taylor, because he's had all the reasons not to be optimistic with all the injuries he's had.
Second down, 11 for Garrard. Good protection. Has to dump it off, complete to Maurice Jones-Drew. He's in the clear at the 25, the 20, and the little man barrels down to the 10-yard line. In the open field, he's tough to find and tough to catch. And when you do get to him, can you get him down?
Well, the first tackler works again for Indianapolis. You don't get him with the first guy. It was Sessions. He doesn't make it down the field. Estandia is doing a very nice job blocking down the field for Jones-Drew, and he's so quick, he's so sudden. You make one misstep, he'll score.
Leads all NFL running backs after the catch, 10 yards. 26 yards on. Without a touchdown, can Jacksonville draw a play to Taylor. Stays on his feet and gets a yard out of what looked like no gain. Second effort.
Dick, now here's the part of the field. You've got these big receivers like Jones and Williams on the outside. You're in the red zone. Big, tall, physical receivers is custom made for the fade pattern. It's custom made for putting the ball up. You don't have to have the corner not looking. You should have receivers that can go up and out jump any corner in the league for the ball.
Jacksonville in 2 games has a total of 2 touchdowns. Apparently that nose of the ball just tickled the 10-yard line, so this is a goal-to-go situation. Second down. Garrard has to throw it away. Good pressure from Melvin Bullitt, Sanders' replacement at safety.
Well, you know, Jack Del Rio and his quarterback David Garrard, they put a little cheese on the hook. They were trying to have everybody bite on that play-action fake, and Bullitt did a wonderful job of coming up the field and making David Garrard make that second down a wasted play.
And this crowd, 63,000, always plenty of noise in Indianapolis. They're on their feet trying to help the defense. Garrard, incomplete. He had plenty of time and tried to hit Jones-Drew down at the 2-yard line, but Freddie Keaho and the other blue shirts were there to deny.
Well, we always talk about patience as it relates to quarterbacks and receivers. Here's a wonderful job of patience on the part of the defense. Freddie Keaho on the left side, brackets in the middle. They're dropping. They don't lose their relationship. They don't lose their position. Keaho just puts a nice shoulder right into Jones-Drew's hip as he goes to try to catch that ball. Nice defense.
Even had he caught it, it would have been short of the touchdown. So in comes Josh Scobie for the short field goal. 27 yards, and Jacksonville on the board. Early in the second quarter, 7-3 Colts.
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL Game Day, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the wild card, divisional, and conference championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
I'm shooting the bold and the beautiful NFL jerseys from Reebok. Now, stick out that chest.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and more, visit NASN.com.
Time to get it on. Showtime. Give me a sip of coffee when I go back in. Oh yeah. Set the tempo, baby. Let's go. And spin this drive with a touchdown, man.
The fully customizable keeper league you've always wanted with Fantasy Football Commissioner. It's at cbssports.com/fantasy. So Josh Scobie, after an official 26-yard field goal to cut into the Colts lead, has it teed up and sends this one toward Justin Forsett along the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. Big penalty. Colts will get it at the 40-yard line. Handing a nice donation to Peyton Manning, and he'll be on the field when we return.
Hey, what's that?
For live commentary, news and stats, scrum.com. Instant rugby, anywhere.
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL Game Day, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the wild card, divisional, and conference championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
On the West Coast. So Manning gets the ball at the 40-yard line. That's like a couple of free first downs. And he's going to go for a touchdown. There's Harrison just off his fingertips. Rashean Mathis beaten on the play.
Oh, Peyton is not going to be happy with himself. He bought the time with his feet. He put himself in the perfect position, and he didn't throw the ball the proper way. The thing was a little bit of a duck, which is not a word you associate with Peyton Manning, but he overthrew Marvin Harrison, who was wide open.
Marvin missed 7 games a year ago with a knee injury and perhaps has lost a half step.
Yeah, don't tell him that.
No. I'm safe up here with you. A die to the right of Manning in the shotgun. Open is Wayne, and he can't hold on. So there's a couple passes ever so close. Reggie Wayne, who's just been outstanding this year, 15 catches and a couple of touchdowns in the first 2 games.
Well, we had the ball kicked out of bounds, so Jacksonville basically gave Peyton Manning and this offense 2 free first downs, and now you have 2 balls that should have been completed back to back. This is the kind of mistakes you normally don't see out of the Indianapolis Colts. This is the misfiring and lack of rhythm they had in the first couple weeks.
That ball hit Wayne right in the chest.
Hard to catch him on the rebound, Dick. Got to get those hands out.
Manning and the Colts 0 for 11 on 3rd down, 10 yards or more, and that looks like a false start.
False start, 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And veteran tackle Ryan Deem.
And Ryan Deem was reacting to Quentin Groves, number 93, the defensive end, who just on that snap was guessing the snap count. And we talked about earlier how the defender can get into the neutral zone and can draw. He'll be off sides. Well, if you guess correctly, you can influence the offense too.
So the Jacksonville deep defense can loosen a bit on 3rd and 15. They're going to come after Manning. Nope. 4-man rush. He has to dump it off to Adai, and Adai fights to the 45. That's the 10 yards that would have given them a first down, but the 5-yard false start denies. It's 4th and 5.
Hey, Dick, in the first couple of possessions, the Colts were averaging 6.3 yards a rush on first down. Now they throw three passing plays in a row, and now they have to punt. They did all that great work setting up the run, all that nice work getting into this other rhythm, and now they throw, and sort of get out of the rhythm.
Hunter Smith in to punt, averaging 45 a kick early. And Dennis Northcutt heels on the 11-yard line. High end over end wobbler toward the sideline, takes an inside bounce to Northcutt, and he literally was there. That ball took a funny kick back into the field of play. Darrell Reed made the tackle.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, we talk American sports. So how do you think our show translates in Europe?
I'm Tony Kornheiser, probably pretty poorly, especially like in Romania.
ESPN's Pardon the Interruption. Join Tony and Mike for all the latest opinions and headlines weeknights only on NASN.
Fires, touchdown! Amani Toomer on a post pattern.
Pumps, looks, throws into the end zone. Touchdown, Amani Toomer. Walk in the back of the end zone. Nobody open. Now he's it. Toomer's open downfield in the end zone. Touchdown, Giants.
Throws off the back foot. Man, they're caught. Touchdown, Toomer. Pumps, looks, throws left. Caught. Touchdown, Giants. The 50th career touchdown catch of Amani Toomer.
Throws it into the end zone for Toomer. Makes the catch. Touchdown. He got his feet down.
Just because you're thousands of miles from the nearest big league stadium doesn't mean you can't be a big league fan. Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NASN.com.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
Football, NFL.com/fantasy, and also enter the NFL.com Fantasy Inside Access Sweepstakes. You have a chance to win a trip for two to Super Bowl 43. Jones-Drew gets the handoff from the 20 and just eases his way forward for a first down. It didn't look as if he ever got to full speed and still gains 11 on first down.
Well, they came into that possession. They had 4 rushes on first down. They were averaging 8.5 yards a crack. Session ended up making that tackle, but He ended up moving the pile and bringing it to the ground is about all you could really say for it. Jones-Drew and that offensive line just punched it in there.
Well, that's the Jaguar style. They want to run the football. They love first downs because it eats up the clock, and especially against a team that has a quarterback named Peyton Manning. Garrard off play action, throws to Jones-Drew underneath. You don't see him. 50. Now he does in the clear, and he's all the way to the Colts 45 before Antoine Bethea can ride him out of bounds. What an all-purpose back Jones-Drew is.
Absolutely. But take a look at Norman, 62, the center. Watch him during this play. Brackett gets off to the side with Jones-Drew. Norman does a nice job of coming in and screening him off. That sets up the rest of the escape across the defense.
So Jones-Drew gets 11 on the first down run and now 24 on the catch and run. Fred Taylor replaces him. First down at the 45 of the Colts. Taylor, no room at the end. He has to push his way for 2. We can throw our way all the way to New York and JB.
Dick and Randy, Donovan McNabb becomes the Eagles' all-time touchdown passer at 176 TDs when he throws his 20-yard pass play touchdown to Correll Buckhalter. McNabb smoking 13 of 13, 120 yards and a touch. 7-3 Eagles. Back to Dick and Randy.
Wow. Thanks, JB. 7-3 to the home team in Philadelphia. 7-3 home team Indianapolis. But Jacksonville on a drive. Second down and 8. Taylor up the middle. Finds a crease and inside the 34 has another Jaguar first down before Keaho and Bethea can collaborate on the tackle.
What's you have to watch? Watch up front for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be bodies on bodies. Nothing spectacular, but the bodies don't get off the blue bodies. That was an absolutely beautiful block by Jones, the lead fullback, and everybody up front. They just mushed him. No real hole. Taylor just creased him.
First down at the 34. A steady drive by the Jaguars. They trail 7-3, and here's Jones-Drew. Look at him bull his way down to the 19-yard line. Bethea and Bullet. He becomes a missile.
Well, last week, Adrian Peterson really exposed this defense in the first half. Ran all over this defense. They are smaller. They have to guess. They have to stunt. They have to blitz. They're guessing wrong, and right now these big offensive linemen, I don't care if there are 3 new linemen in the middle, they are mauling this smaller front.
They've not run the ball this well this year. 62 yards here in the opening half, over 8-yard average. Draw play to Taylor, and he's able to pick up a couple up the middle as Gary Brackett with a tackle.
Hey, Dick, you talk about those injuries up in the offensive line. You mentioned at the very beginning that this has been a real test for this offense in general. Meester goes out with a bicep. The tragedy of Collier being shot. Vince Monowite's toss. Opening game tears his ACL.
Mo Williams out for the season, tore his biceps. How would you like that on your team? Your center and your 2 guards in the first half of the first game of the season out. The reverse, Reggie Williams, and it didn't work as the Colts read it well. Bullet again in his first start for the injured Bob Sanders has been in the right spot on a couple of big plays.
For both these teams, though, for tackler, if you don't get him with the first shot, you might give up a big play. And Dwight Freeney had Williams dead to rights about 10 yards deep on that reverse. He read it perfectly. Williams just ran right through his tackle.
But he did force the play a little wider, and so no gain. 3rd and 8. Maurice Jones-Drew with Garrard. Maurice Jones-Drew sees a little opening, darts to the 11, and that's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down as Gary Brackett made the hit.
We've seen this Colt defense grab a little bit high around the shoulders. I know Fred Taylor made the comment that this is a low tackling defense, and when they're really coming at you, they're coming out about knee and shin level, and that's how they got Maurice Jones-Drew down there. They just sliced his legs out from underneath him.
This is more than a yard. It's a yard and a half. They have to get almost to the 9 for the first down. Greg Jones, the blocker. Fred Taylor, the tailback. Jaguars are 3 for 3 on 4th down this year. Taylor hit in the backfield, drives forward. This is going to be close. The mark will be everything.
He's just inside the 10-yard line, but I don't know if he's far enough across the 10. Nope.
So you could say that it was 4th and 1, but it was much closer to 4th and 2. Robert Mathis, 98, was the man who got down low and ruined the play and stopped Jacksonville.
Goes in motion, handed to Neion. He dives, stretches out, touchdown.
And look at the entire Georgia offense coming off.
That's the whole team.
The whole team is on the field right now.
What the heck is that? That's a flag. What are we doing?
They're throwing a flag, and I don't think anybody cares right now.
Major League Baseball coverage all the way to the World Series on NASN.
Next door, they'll take down the roof in a couple of weeks. Let's go to that 4th and almost 2.
There's Robert Mathis, number 98 on the line. Pachos, the right tackle, 79, 325 pounds. The tight end, 250 pounds. Mathis, 245, just gets the penetration, and penetration is kryptonite to any running game. You get into a backfield, you are running nowhere.
Marlon Jackson, the cornerback, in on the play as well. So those are two very frustrating long drives for Jacksonville. They go 75 yards to the Colt 9 and settle for the field goal. Now they go 70 yards and they're stopped inside the 10. Indianapolis maintains its 7-3 lead. 6 to go here in the second quarter. Joseph Adai just does get around the corner for short yardage. Drayton Florence with a stop.
You know, I'm sure there's folks out there that say, well, how does this going for it on 4th down really matter? Well, you look at where the standings are, these two teams in the AFC South. They're both chasing Tennessee, who's now 3-0. Jack Del Rio is very well known for taking chances, taking risks, and not having the field goal there and going for the 1st down. That's just typical of the way he aggressively plays football.
Yeah, he went on 4th down more than any coach in the league last year and was successful more. 2nd and 8. Long throw could be caught. It is. Reggie Wayne, how did that ball get in there? It looked as if Jacksonville had him front and back and could pick that one off, but Manning, a perfect rainbow.
We always hear closing on the ball is a defensive trait. Watch Reggie Wayne come around Drayton Florence and close on the ball inside of the tackle of Brian Williams. Beautiful throw by Peyton Manning, and nice job of closing on that pass by Reggie Wayne. He just went after that thing. He hit that extra gear.
And he knew he was going to get belted. 40 yards on the throw. 1st down at the 48. He's got Dallas Clark, the tight end, slotted right. Quick throw. Intercepted. Moreeeee Mathis. And Mathis could go and will go all the way for a touchdown. Rashean Mathis, the young star out of Bethune-Cookman, his 22nd interception, more than any Jaguar in history, and that's the 2nd time he's taken one back for a touchdown.
Watch the heat coming into Peyton Manning's face. That's from the onside. That's what makes him throw this early. Landry's wide open. He throws it early. What a nice job by Rasheed Mathis. That's anticipation, stepping right underneath the receiver. It was intended for Marvin Harrison. Rasheed Mathis reads it and does perfectly and makes Peyton Manning pay the ultimate price for a quarterback, and that's 6 points the other way.
61 yards on the score for Mathis. Scobie for the extra point. And a stunning reversal as the Colts seem to be driving to pad their lead. But Mathis steps in front of the pass for Harrison, and he goes 61 the other way, and the Jacksonville Jaguars lead.
The stage is set for the opening weekend of a new NHL season. And this year, the stars are gathering for the premier events in the great cities of Prague and Stockholm. The NHL returns. Catch all the excitement this October on NASN.
Mike, just watch the way he danced past those two blockers. Slam dunk.
ESPN 360. Wherever and whenever you're online, you're at the game.
Seminoles! Finds an alley. Gonna be a touchdown, Deion Sanders. What a play by the Seminoles. Some razzle-dazzle.
What a touchdown! He's going to the house. Touchdown, Florida State!
40-yard line. He cuts outside. Howard could go. Oh, look out. And they're looping it to Desmond, and he makes the catch. Goodbye.
Touchdown, Randy Moss. Airs it out downfield. Randy Moss is there, and he has a touchdown. Wow, that's impressive. Three guys around him. Floats it to the right. Touchdown, Randy Moss. Great catch for Randy Moss. Touchdown reception number 23, an NFL record.
Player in Division I AA, and he has his second interception touchdown with the Jaguars to give Jacksonville the lead 10-7. Josh Scobie to kick it off to Justin Forsett. Forsett, who played behind Marshawn Lynch at California till his senior year, out to the 26-yard line. Brian Ewu, the tackle. Manning now playing from behind. Jacksonville by 3.
3-2 pitch to Longoria. High fly ball, way back, left field, and gone. Grand slam, home run, Evan Longoria. And this young man's legend continues to grow.
Yes, it's a glove. It's a baseball glove.
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
A reminder coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Join JB, Dan Marino with a doctorate, and you got Shannon Sharp going into the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. When is Boomer going to win something? When's he going to get an award? He'll get all the latest NFL scores.
He's got great ratings in New York.
There you go. All the scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Back with the action, and it's Joseph Adai high-stepping outside the 35-yard line before Darrell Smith and Clint Ingram bring him down.
Two things. Watch Marvin Harrison's right shoulder and watch Rashean Mathis's head. The head because he's looking at the quarterback, Peyton Manning. The shoulder because he grabs it. See him grabbing that thing? Well, I noticed that in the replay, and Tony Dungy noticed that live. He was not real happy.
Yeah, that was right on the Colts sidelines. He had a good look at it. 2nd down and 1. Coming up to make the hit of Joseph Adai, the safety Reggie Nelson. And it's shy of the 1st down.
Well, you talk about an old offensive lineman should know what holding is. Well, an old defensive back knows when another defensive back is held. Look at Dungy come in. He is just screaming at the side judge.
Great.
That's a good get by our camera guys.
Yes, Suzanne Smith's camera crew doing a great job on that. Bob Monsbach, our producer here in Indianapolis. And again, Darrell Reed on short yardage, the big defensive lineman, is the blocking back in front of Adai. 3rd and 1. Adai on the stretch. And he gets the corner and a 1st down at the 41. Nelson again, the tackler. Oh, that makes the offense tougher, isn't it, when Manning can get that stretch play working.
Well, when they get that edge and they can create just a boundary. The nice job by Reed creating the boundary, and then Adai just comes right around that edge. Suddenly the defenders just stop. There's nothing there. It's like going over a waterfall. There's nothing but air.
Timeout called by Jacksonville. It comes with 3:19 remaining in the opening half. The Jags by 3.
From the right hash for Longwell. He's into it, drives it. Caught by Cromartie under the goalpost. He's going to try to pull a Devin Hester. Here he comes. 10, 15, 20. Cromartie's bringing it back down the sideline. 45, 50, 40, 35, 30. Puts the move on. Cromartie to the house. Touchdown, San Diego. An NFL record, 109 yards on the return.
This beautiful new stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium, with a 63,000 capacity. Indianapolis Colts trailing Jacksonville 10-7. They have it 1st down at their own 41-yard line. Now play action down the middle. It was intended for Reggie Wayne. Brian Williams, who played right corner a year ago, now moved to safety on the coverage. Drayton Florence picked up as a unrestricted free agent after 5 years in San Diego, the new right corner. In fact, Jack Del Rio, he got Florence at the corner, and then he drafted 2 rookies, Derek Harvey in the first round, Quentin Groves out of Auburn in the second round. He said those 3 choices made particularly against the Indianapolis Colts. He wanted to match up better.
Specifically for playing in this building, Dick.
That has the earmarks of a false start.
False start, 53. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, that could be induced in part by the fact that Dan Faderkyle, the starting right guard today, he's out with an injury. And so they've had to rework the line. They've got Jamie Richard, who has been playing some center when Saturday was out. He's over at right guard. Now, this offensive line is hard to recognize if you're a longtime Colts fan.
And young. Both guards are rookies.
Richard, a rookie from Buffalo, picked in the 7th round. Adai struggling to the 40-yard line. Bring up 3rd and long. There are some of the injuries. Bob Sanders, I mean, you couldn't take a better defensive player off your lineup than Sanders. Everybody would lust to have him in that defense. Lilj out with a knee, Pollock with a knee, and starting tackle Hugo with an injury as well. The long throw to Gonzalez is on the money. Anthony Gonzalez, who had 9 catches last week, his best ever. His 2nd season out of Ohio State. A big grab and a first down.
Well, they're doing a nice job above Drayton Florence, 21, and in front of 29, Brian Williams, the safety. They found a little spot of real estate they can do some business in, and they're trying to do it. That time the safety was Sensabaugh, 43, but it's the same idea, same concept, same pattern.
Another terrific throw, laying it between the 2 defenders, Manning, and the first down at the Jacksonville 36. Looking deep, deep, deep. It's Harrison. Incomplete. The hit was after the ball had cleared Harrison. Fans are going to want interference because no question he was hit by Rasheed Mathis, but the ball had already cleared Harrison's opportunity.
For the 2nd time now, Peyton Manning's had Marvin Harrison open. And that was absolutely a clean play by Rasheed Mathis. That ball was well passed. That was excellent defense. Just needed to be thrown a couple yards farther, or Marvin Harrison needed to run a couple feet farther.
So 2nd down and 10 as we close in on the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Quick throw underneath to Gonzalez. Did he catch the ball cleanly? No. He was struggling as he went to the turf. Drayton Florence there to down him. That brings up 3rd and 10.
There's a good example. The rookie for Jacksonville, Derek Harvey, is coming on the blitz. Manning gets it out. And that's not a case of the ball really coming out. The ball was never caught by Gonzalez. It cradled in ever so briefly, but it never stopped moving. It was clearly a drop all the way.
3rd and long for Manning out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure and the throw to Harrison. And Mathis, boy, there's a flag, and that was well earned by Mathis. He was riding the back of Harrison.
In fact, Marvin Harrison just fixed his jersey because Rasheed Mathis had basically yanked the shoulder pad out from under around the jersey. Look at the left hand, the right hand, the left hand. Remember the concept of no contact past 5 yards. That was multiple pity pat. That wasn't too much of grabs.
But my wife only didn't dance that close to me. Mathis with the interference call and a first down at the 20. And a false start. Jamie Richard, the new right guard.
61, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's a problem with new bodies. We talk about Jacksonville having the new bodies and the rookie guards in there. Jamie Richard right there, number 61, working at right guard. And Manning's known for drawing the other guys off. And in this case, he gets one of his own guys, youngster.
So 1st and 15 with Dominique Rhodes now for Adai in the backfield. Wayne and Gonzalez to the left, Harrison to the right. Stretch to a die. He's got some running room. 20, 15, 10, and inside the 5. Oh, Dominic Rhodes, and he shows some quick around the corner. Tony McDaniel saved the touchdown at the 2-minute warning.
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL Game Day, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the Wild Card, Divisional, and Conference Championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
I'm shooting the bold and the beautiful NFL jerseys from Reebok. Now, stick out that chest.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and more, visit NASN.com.
Reggie Bush electrifying. Reggie Bush using his speed. Reggie Bush points it on record. A historic run for Reggie Bush. He dives in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Touchdown, Reggie Bush. Time to get it on. Showtime. Give me a sip of coffee when I go back in. Oh yeah. Set the tempo, baby. Let's go. And finish this drive with a touchdown, man.
In talking with both coaches, Del Rio and Dungy, they said we have to run the ball better today, and the Colts have 78 yards rushing in 2 games. They've got 79 in the first half of this one. First and goal at the 5. Jaguars have 100 yards rushing. Adai gets the handoff to the 3. Gerald Sensabaugh up from a safety spot to make the tackle.
And we talked so much about there's new linemen in here. You've got to mention the fact that both these offensive lines, Dick, are very well coached. The Colts, you know, by Howard Mudd and Pete Metzelaars, the old tight end from Buffalo. You got Andy Heck and Mike Tice over on the Jacksonville side. They're all doing a fantastic job.
Adai again. He's at the goal line. No sin. Yes, touchdown. Joseph Adai with his second rushing touchdown of the year.
What a beautiful job by that whole right side. You talked about Richard being new at guard. Deem isn't new at tackle. And right there, Jeff Saturday, the center. That was amazing. That may be worth another look later because not many centers in this league can do that.
Vinatieri adds the extra point, and the Colts are back in the lead, 14-10.
best Major League Baseball coverage all the way to the World Series on NASN.
Last season, the Indianapolis Colts finished 13-3 en route to their 5th consecutive AFC South title. Peyton Manning and the Colts offense finished 5th in total offense. Joseph Adai finished 9th in rushing yards, while Reggie Wayne led all receivers with 1,510 receiving yards. Not to be outdone, Manning and Marvin Harrison connected for their 107th touchdown. In 2008, look for Manning and the Colts offense to make a run for their 6th consecutive AFC South title.
The lead 14-10. The kickoff in Terry. Maurice Jones-Drew returned one here a couple of years ago for a touchdown, 93 yards. But not this time. He's out to the 25-yard line. Minute 20 seconds for Jacksonville before the half. And at the half, we invite you to join the gang. Sprint Halftime Report. All the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. One of the big stories today, New England Patriots thrashed by the Miami Dolphins at home. 2 timeouts remain for each team.
Last year does not matter. There are no playoff teams in 2008. You start thinking that, you're going to get your butt beat.
Gerard starts from the 24, gives it to Jones-Drew. Nothing there. A couple yards to the 25. Gary Brackett led the defensive surge, along with Keaho and Session.
Yeah, it's a pretty contrasting styles. Both of these offenses have run the ball very effectively, and they've done them 2 different ways. We saw Indianapolis with a quick movement of their offensive linemen, whether it was Saturday or Richard or Justice or Deem or Johnson. Jacksonville completely different. They want to maul. They want to just consume the smaller defenders.
Gerard taking plenty of time, so Jacksonville showing no intent of doing something foolish here and giving the ball to Indianapolis. They're going to stay on the ground, and Jones-Drew able to get a couple of yards.
Ball's loose.
Yeah, I think Jones-Drew was squeezing the melon the whole time. Keaho again in on the tackle.
Now, this is to a certain degree, it's being very conservative. To another degree, by Jack Del Rio, this is being very smart. He knows the kind of potential of the offense he has on the other sideline. It takes one mistake. Make one mistake, and they will make you pay, and he's not willing to take that chance.
Rashean Mathis's interception return of 61 yards for a touchdown, keeping Jacksonville close as we've reached the intermission. Indianapolis 14, the Jaguars 10. We'll be back with a Sprint Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station.
Welcome back, 39. A 67-yard touchdown by the lickety-split Adrian Peterson.
And Walt Thompson guns it up the middle. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, San Diego!
Looking right, looking left.
Lets it go downfield.
Throwing into the end zone. He fires. Touchdown!
Touchdown, Nebraska! He has an opening.
And he sees that end zone.
Keeps it going. He's across the goal line.
James has done it again. His second rushing touchdown. He has been such a money ball player.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
games in Week 3, and we start with the Miami Dolphins upending the New England Patriots 38-13. Dolphins' 11-game road losing streak comes to an end. Ronnie Brown, 4 rushing touchdowns, and he tossed one in a huge day for the Dolphins. Oakland Raiders lose to Buffalo 24-23. Ryan Lindell's 38-yard game-winning field goal does it, and the Bills are 3-0 for the first time since 1992. The Giants in OT get it done. John Carney was 4 for 4 on the day, his 22-yarder. That pushed New York to a mark of 3-0. The defense got it done with 6 sacks. Redskins behind Jason Campbell, 22 of 30, 193 yards and 2 touchdowns, beat the Arizona Cardinals 24-17. Redskins improved to 2-1. Tennessee 31-12 over Houston. Lindell White, 2 rushing touchdowns for Tennessee. The last time Tennessee started 3-0 was the Super Bowl year of 1999. Atlanta Falcons huge over Kansas City. Michael Turner, 23 of 104, 3 touchdowns, 5 on the season. That is a career high for Michael Turner. And the Minnesota Vikings beat the Panthers by 10. Jake Delhomme was sacked 5 times. Minnesota defense got it done. Carolina only 204 total yards on the day. And the Chicago Bears dropped one by 3 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chicago blew a double-digit lead. That in the second half. Matt Bryant wins it with 21-yard field goal. Coming up, we'll have all the highlights when the Sprint halftime report continues on CBS.
Would you say life is precious?